Okay.
That's
our go-to pin.
Yeah.
All
It
right.
works. Look, CLA.
Oh, perfect.
California Library Association. Support your local libraries.
There you go.
What band is this again?
This is Emerson, Lake and Palmer, ELP week.
This is the second half.
This is the second half of the album that we started.
I should save this conversation for after
Probably.
the start.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody forget what you just heard.
Hello everybody and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to our latest episode of Prog Song Sunday. I've got Jana with me.
Hello.
And this is the show where we listen to a prog song together. It's a first listen for Jana, and it's basically a way to introduce her to prog music and get her impressions as a new listener.
See what you did there.
My sneaky way to get my wife to listen to my favorite kind of music. So we're doing something a bit special. Yeah, sometimes we'll shuffle into a song and just randomly determine what we're going to listen to, but this time I'm actually selecting a song because it's Emerson, Lake and Palmer month on the channel, and so we did a listen to the first half of Brain Salad Surgery, so I think it's only appropriate for the end to do the second half. So
right.
This is all one big song suite. It's like a big epic piece from them.
Okay.
So this is called Karn Evil 9, and it's split up into 3 impressions. So kind of similar to a classical piece, there's different movements to it.
Okay.
And what's interesting about it is that the first part of the first impression is on the first side, actually. Mm-hmm. It starts with that, and then the second side picks it back up.
This is
to
a
finish
super long one.
So yeah, this is a super
long
long one.
30 minutes.
30 minutes altogether. So one of our longest full pieces of music we've done. So.
I can do it, right?
Yeah, I just
got
thought
a fresh Coke Zero. I got a notes thing. I need to take notes.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Notes.
Yeah, I thought it would be best to put these all together as one, since it's all kind of one piece of music together. Even though the first part is kind of on the first side with the other songs we did, but
well, it looks like they all have the same name. So
yeah,
Karn Evil.
It's Karn Evil 9.
It sounds like carnival.
Yeah.
I see what they did there.
You see what they did. But this is one of their biggest, most signature songs, so I think it'll be fun to listen to. All right. Ready to go?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I need headphones.
Yeah, that would help to be able to hear it. All right. Let's get into Karn Evil 9, starting with the first impression, part 1.
Okay.
officials' heads in jars, and a bomb inside a car. Spectacular, spectacular. If you follow me, there's a speciality. Some tears for you to see. Misery, misery. Roll on, roll on, roll on. See the show. Next up on the bill, in a house of vaudeville, we've a stripper in a till. What a thrill, what a thrill. Not content with that, with our hands behind our backs, pull Jesus from a hat. Get into that, get into that. Roll on, roll on, roll on. See the show. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. There behind the glass stands a real blade of grass. Be careful as you pass. Move along, move along. Come inside, the show's about to start. Guaranteed to blow your head apart. Rest assured, you'll get your money's worth. With this show, it happened all right. You gotta see the show. It's a dynamo. You gotta see the show. It's rock and roll. Oh, right before your eyes, people laughed up from the skies, and he laughs until he cries, and he dies.
Make an impression. This is instrumental.
Cool.
impression.
Absolutely.
Man alone, born of stone, will strike the dust of time. His hands strike the flame of his soul. Ties a rope to a tree and hangs the universe until the wind of laughter blows cold. Fear that rattles in men's ears and rears its hideous head. Dread, death in the wind. Man of steel, pray and kneel with Demon's blazing torch, thrust into the face of the night. Draws a blade of compassion, kissed by countless kings, whose jeweled trumpet words blind his sight. Walls that no man thought would fall, the altars of the just, crushed, dust in the wind. No man yield to flies in my ship.
Like cut off like that?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Hold on. Last bit was weird.
Make sure to write that down.
Yeah. So I don't forget to talk about it.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. So the last bit was weird.
You thought so?
Okay, let's start at the beginning.
Yeah, let's start there. Yeah, I don't know if I'm just streaming this from like Apple Music, so I'm not exactly sure if it should have continued or if it cut off weird. So, but from my version, that's how it ends. So.
All right.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm not criticizing. Probably I'm implying I'm criticizing. I'm not. But
okay.
People can do their art however they want to do their art, and I'm here for it.
We're here for it, aren't we?
Yeah.
How'd you feel, hon? A lot to take in?
Yeah, a lot to take in. Right before we started, I said it sounds like Carnival. I see what they did there.
Right. But
then the music sounded like an evil carnival at times, so I'm like, oh, now I see what they did there.
Yeah.
The first part, what are they called? The
impressions. First impression?
Impressions. Which ones did we listen to? We listened to all those?
Well, starting
1,
here.
2, 3, 4. Right?
Part 1, part 2, and then 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Part 1, 2, and then 2 and 3.
Yeah, these 4. Sorry, I was looking at the full album.
I see. So impressions, first impression has 2 parts.
2 parts to it.
And then there's second impression and there's third impression.
Right, exactly.
Got it.
Because the first impression is split between the 2 sides. So it starts on the end of side 1 and then continues onward on the second side. That's why it's split into like a part 1 and part 2.
Got it.
But really it's meant to be like one piece together, the first impression.
They were very different.
Yeah.
I mean, they were the same but different. So the first one was like it had this about a minute into it, I was like, oh, the prog is here. You know?
Right.
But then a minute later, I was like, oh no, now the prog is here.
It just gets more and more prog.
Oh, it's even more proggy now. Like, that was my impression of that one.
Yeah.
And so for me, like, when something is like proggy, it's like a lot of keyboards going, a lot of notes, a lot of things happening at different layers and levels within the music.
Right.
And so for this, like, there was so much going on. It was so proggy, you know?
Right.
And then, and so sometimes for me, it almost sometimes feels like there's too much going on. And so I zero in on like something to like help me like ground into it, you know?
Right.
And of course I always do that with the bass line. And the bass line was like all over the place too, and it was amazing. So it was really, really fun. And so it had a good drive to it. It had a melody that was like jumping all over and
right.
But it was just generally fun.
Yeah.
So and then like a very like proggy fun, you know.
Proggy fun.
And
yeah,
then
I love it.
And then the second part felt more like a normal song, like without like a lot of the wacky proggy stuff in there,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
But it was the same song, and so and I could hear the lyrics more. I could hear the vocals more. Sometimes I think when in the first part, in part 1. So I thought this is a good example of when there's so much music going on, I feel like the lyrics and the voices get lost, or it's hard to pick them out for me. Like, and I really like reading like seeing the lyrics and hearing the words. We happen to have the lyrics up as it's going, and so I can read them as we go. But there's no way I'd be able to like pick out any of the words, like, because there's so much going on if I wasn't reading the lyrics. So that's kind of my impression of the first one, is that there was a lot going on, and while it was fun, sometimes for me it's like a little too much. Okay. But it doesn't mean that it's not great. Like, sure. I mean, clearly showcasing the talents of these people, of these musicians. And, that's amazing. Especially the third one, which was all instrumental.
Yeah. Second impression.
Yeah. Yeah, part 3. I wrote part 1, 2, 3, and 4, but that's not right. So
no, that's
impression 3.
It is confusing.
No, impression 2.
Yeah, exactly. Second impression.
Okay.
Just so people are clear on what you're talking about.
Yeah. But I do want to back up and say about first impression part 2.
Yes.
The more normal sounding one.
Right.
I enjoyed that a lot because, I like a more normal sounding song.
Right.
Normal is relative.
It almost feels like the single edit of the first part, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is the part that they cut down to be a little bit more palatable to like a wider audience, maybe.
I wrote fun, made easier to hear,
Okay. So, fair enough.
So I enjoyed that one a lot. And then second impression. Yes. So the third section.
The third section we heard, yeah.
Okay. That one was all instrumental, and that one was had a lot of piano work to it. It was almost all like piano,
sure, like
showcasing the piano skills, and that was amazing. And I thought, man, I should have taken more piano. Like if I could like aspire to be like this good of a piano player. I took 9 lessons. No, not 9 lessons. 9 years of lessons when I was a kid, but I never practiced because I have little hands, so I can't reach an octave on a piano, and so I'm like, I'm never going to be a great piano player. But like hearing stuff like this, I'm like, oh, maybe I could train my hands to reach an octave and become a master piano player. Maybe. Piano virtuoso. Because it was amazing. Yeah. There were bits of it where there were different instruments like joining in, and I couldn't place what kind of instrument it was. It might have just been a keyboard like doing some kind of sound, but like it sounded almost like a, not quite though, almost like a flute or a marimba, which are two very different things, but I'm talking more about like the tone that they make.
Yeah,
like
I understand.
more of an airy tone, you know? And so it was really cool. I thought that was like really, really neat. It had some very carnival sounding sections, you know?
I feel like it's like there's it kind of shifts in style a bit as it goes along. Like there's bits that are very jazz oriented.
Yeah.
Like jazz solo piano kind of works. And then there's parts that sound very like classical and like you're listening to a, you know, symphonic movement, you know? So there's definitely that in there. There's almost like parts that sound like they could be like a Latin groove or something, you know, something really, you know, a lot of percussion and a lot of interesting things. So even though it's all instrumental, they go through so many different like styles. It's one of my favorite sections. I just really like how they do that.
It was really neat. I wrote down the genres I wrote down.
Yeah.
Were like a cowboy western stage show.
Okay.
You know, like with like a little like piano in the corner.
Yeah, like this saloon style, which we kind of talked about with Benny the Bouncer on our last episode. They kind of like that sound, I think, sometimes to throw it in.
And I wrote down mystery horror show. Because there's a part of it that's like that.
Yeah.
And then I wrote down that it's telling a tale, because that's kind of what I felt of that whole piece of music there, is that it was just taking us on this journey of and I really felt like it could be like a soundtrack to a movie. Like in my head, that's what I imagine. I imagine like chase scenes and like spy stuff and like horror films, and like that's what I imagine is going on during all these. And I think that is the hallmark of a good piece of music, is where it makes you think about things and like gets you in a certain mood, or give you a specific feeling, you know. For sure. And I feel like that this was extremely successful in that. It was really, really cool.
I love it too. Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah. Okay, and then
a lot to talk about. Sorry, I know it's hard to do all these all at once. Huh?
No, it's okay. And then part 4, which was the third impression. Yes. I wrote majestic and heroic, and I was trying to think. I can't think of the name of it, but you know that movie where it's those guys running down the beach and it's bum 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 bum. What is it, like something of Champions? Do you remember?
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about, man. I was
trying to think of that like through half the song, and I'm like, what is the name of this?
Yeah, I could hear the music like running in my head.
It's like,
but I can't remember what it's called. But I think it's something of Champions.
Can we Google it? It's something like, for some reason I'm thinking of it's something named after cereal, but I think that's just Breakfast of Champions. So.
Oh, you know what I think it is? Is what I'm thinking of. We may not even be thinking of the same thing. We
are. You're right. I just saw you type it.
Chariots of Fire.
Chariots of Fire. Chariots of Fire. That's it. I was way off.
Sorry.
Breakfast of Champions. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, Chariots of Fire, which is a piece by Vangelis, which is he's kind of a Prog adjacent figure as well. But yeah.
Chariots of Fire. So, but you know that and so anyway, that's what this piece of music was reminding me of, is that it had this very like heroic, majestic, you know, like slow-mo run, you know, and like there were moments of it. Yeah, I wrote like the Running on the Beach soundtrack because I couldn't think of the name. Yeah. And then I wrote also Carnival is back, so the carnival
they bring back the carnival side. Came back,
but that last section, I thought it was just so really just neat and cool and man, I need to get at the source because neat and cool is. They're great.
The songs are so neat and cool.
They're so neat. Yeah, so it was amazing and very emotive, you know, and very it was able to draw out feelings out of me that like made me feel like I could do it. I can do something. I can, whatever cool. I'm trying to do, I can do it. This is making me feel so good. Good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like some kind of sci-fi story, I think, that they're telling. I'm not quite familiar exactly with the storyline, but definitely feels like they're kind of conquering this like evil foe or something. Yeah, and it's like their triumphant music after some kind of chaotic like battle or war against some kind of futuristic enemy, whether it's like an alien or robots or something like that.
At the end they said rejoice, glory is ours. So like I thought that was like, okay, this is making me feel good. I can rise above.
It's like the triumphant like war cry. You know?
Yeah. And then the very last thing I wrote was that the very last bit was weird. Because it was going back and forth in our headphones, like back and forth to the different sides, and so it was like it was a sound that was like circling our heads and like you know, making it weird. But good.
But that, you know, fitting the theme of the story, I think, you know, the sci-fi angle. I think that's kind of cool.
Audio production in that one, and it was neat. It was the whole thing, and I feel totally worn out, and it was so good. It was great. It was nice. Like there were bits and pieces of it, like I say, like sometimes I don't always I have a little trouble maybe like not connecting, like not feeling, I have trouble not feeling overwhelmed sometimes by really proggy music.
Right.
And so this had bits and pieces of that, but I can recognize how talented these musicians are, and recognize that it's just a lovely bit of music.
Oh, very nice. So, all right, I think that's a good place. It's one of our longest videos, I think, that we've done. So
that's why I'm worn out.
So I think I should let that be it for this. Okay. But one of my favorite pieces, I love it as well. I'm on record saying this is one of my favorite pieces that the band did on their career. It's official. It's on record. Watch my ELP rankings episode if you want to hear more.
Is this at the top?
Is this at the top?
Sorry,
second.
I didn't watch your video.
Well, should I spoil it? No.
Oh, you haven't put it on.
Well,
yet?
I've put it up, but you know, there's probably a chance people are watching this who didn't see that. You know,
why not? Knowing that I haven't watched it.
But yeah, this is near the top, I'll say.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, a really great piece of work, and I love this album. I think it's one of their most iconic. So, one of the best in progressive rock for sure. So really fun to cover it. Hopefully you guys stuck around with us through this somewhat lengthy video and appreciate our thoughts. Let us know in the comments what you think of this, and we'll hopefully catch you in a future episode.
Yay!
Bye everybody.
Subscribe.
Enjoy
Bye.
the music.